Tomb of the Spider Queen, everybody, is the map. Virtus.pro goes up against the Sandwich Monkeys. Team Sandwich Monkeys here took just Fnatic down in the last round, and now they go up against that new Virtus.pro lineup, which is, of course, also going to be a bit of fun because, well, the Sandwich Monkeys have a player that was former part of Virtus.pro, had an interview as well that he did where he was basically talking that he didn't really feel there was a lot of team and not really a team atmosphere anymore in Virtus.pro, that it was more like solo players playing together. So BKB left the team and then stated things like that in the interview. I don't know if there's bad blood between them. I don't really think so. But of course, it's always a little bit weird when you go up against your old team, so to say. So in Tomb of the Spider Queen, the Sandwich Monkeys, they're starting things off with Sylvanas ban here right away. ADRD is, of course, now part of the lineup for the Sandwich Monkeys as well. And he was one of the main drafters that we saw, for example, for Dignitas, which is one of those things that's also quite important here to note, since he's of course going to influence that quite a bit, these decisions. We have Khaldor currently being banned out immediately, and therefore there is still the option to go into a Tyrande. Now Khaldor's oftentimes prioritized as a ban on Tomb of the Spider Queen because also you have a lot of fights that end up in those small corridors near the bruiser camps, for example. And over there, chain bombs really unfold most of their potential. So banning a Khaldor's out here already quite solid. The Tyrande as an immediate follow-up. And Virtus.pro can now really think how they play around that. We've seen already a few approaches earlier where, for example, Fnatic decided to go into an immediate false set and stuff like that. The problem that you have with that, of course, is that on Tomb of the Spider Queen, you can capitalize on a false set with the Seasoned Marksman stacks, but it's not as strong as on other maps where the positioning is just a lot more important. Cursed Hollow, for example, with the boss steals. And then again, if you're talking about Dragonshire, you have also the 2 shrines where you can, like, with Epic Mount, especially after level 20, hop between them. So what Virtus.pro currently does is they pick Muradin away. That leaves them still with ETC, TSM that is, with ETC and also with Diablo to take. So the mind games that we saw going into the draft between Fnatic and the Sandwich Monkeys, that's already a little bit gone. Like, Virtus.pro is playing this currently a bit simpler. They see a Tyrande and their first impulse is to ban out Muradin, which is absolutely understandable. This is one of those things where you say, hey, we don't want to go up against that comp. We know that our opponent is going to try to dominate the rotation from the mid to the top or mid to bottom, but let's just like try and make it as difficult for them as possible. So they can now go into, for example, also a Jaina, which might not be a bad choice. I actually think would be a great one. Then there's Zagara to consider as well. So 2 heroes that you would really like to pick at this point, and it's going to be quite difficult for Virtus.pro to make a decision there. Jaina combos off with Tyrande very well, because if you get those stun chains going and Jaina delivers the damage with a Blizzard, that is extremely powerful. Then at the same time, Zagara at the bot lane here is really strong, and as Sylvanas is already pushed out, when we're talking about potential heroes that can really push a lane back, these are going to be extremely powerful. But Virtus.pro actually decides against both of them and goes for an Uther. Now, Uther, of course, has another stun that works with Tyrande. Then again, I personally don't think that TSM, that the Sandwich Monkeys would have picked Uther. They would have maybe banned him out. So it's not that you're like taking that away. I guess that the Sandwich Monkeys could have taken Uther, played Tyrande with a full damage build with the Seasoned Marksman and a Searing Arrow, but I'm not quite sure if it was really necessarily to go so highly on the Uther pick here, considering what else was left on the map. TSM, they can play as a tank with maybe even an ETC. The cool thing for them is they don't even have to pick a tank right now. There's still 2 available. Virtus.pro can only ban 1 out. I doubt that they're going to pick a double tank composition with those 2 that are still there. So you could run the risk of actually not doing it. Heroes that are still very strong on this map that we've been talking about are, of course, Zagara. Tacita is very strong here too, and we saw the Sandwich Monkeys already with a Tacita Tyrande earlier, so they could do the same thing. But the first thing they pick is the hero that I already mentioned. It's Jaina, who combos so well with that Tyrande. That was an easy pick for them. I mean, that was not really a choice. That was a given. After Jaina wasn't picked away, they already knew that they would go for her. But now they can still make a couple of choices. Zagara, Tacita, or you can go into one of those frontliners. But they decide that they want to have that Thrall, taking it away from Virtus.pro now. So once again, the Thrall being played here. Great hero, of course, if you can make him part of the rotation and really get those Seasoned Marksman stacks on 2 of the lanes. Then again, you still leave Zagara out there. This is, for example, one of those things that is once again showcasing the difference between meta. If you look at North America on any map, but especially here in Tomb of the Spider Queen, Zagara is oftentimes a first ban, or if not that, a first pick. And that is something that we would have definitely seen. Like in the North American meta right now, it would be absolutely unthinkable that you would see a draft this far in onto the Spider Queen with no Zagara even mentioned. We could actually even see TSM now. The Sandwich Monkeys could do that. Tacita, by the way, was banned by Virtus Pro. I'm not sure if they really saw the last game, but I assume that since they finished their first match earlier, that they actually have had a chance to just check out the style that we saw from the Sandwich Monkeys, and that they didn't want to go up against Tyrande Tacita again. And also, of course, that Tacita works really well with Thrall now too. Karrigan is banned out. That also makes quite a bit of sense. You could have tried to go just like for all of those like lane punishment heroes, but that Karrigan ban after Thrall was taken makes a lot of sense since you have that Uther, of course, and Muradin already has a start with a stun lock. Then you have Uther with a stun as well. He provides the Divine Shield to Karrigan. She jumps in, locks everybody in. It's a pretty solid choice here actually to ban Karrigan out. So you had, of course, options in this case. But Karrigan is definitely a very solid one, and she's one of those high-risk, high-reward heroes that can destroy an entire team. So the Sandwich Monkeys are playing it safe at this point, and just saying, hey, no matter what kind of melee assassin you can take at this point, we're not going to be scared of it, because Thrall is ours, and we banned out Karrigan. So Virtus Pro decided to go into Arena first. Again, Seasoned Marksman stacks, quite powerful here on the map. They have still a fair amount of need of damage, so they could go into that Zagara, they could go into a Vala, for example. Vala is one of those heroes that is on Tomb of the Spider Queen, even a bit more powerful than on other maps, because that multi-shot build is very, very strong. But they decide to completely neglect any kind of wave clear. I mean, Reyna and Fawcett have a couple of skills that they can use for that, but it's just nothing compared to a Vala with multi-shot or a Zagara. So Fawcett and Reyna, very, very strong auto attack heroes that can go into fights and try to burst the target down. But when it comes to wave clear, they are definitely lacking at this point. The Sandwich Monkeys, they have a bit more. They can use the Chain Lightning. They lock down the Zagara. I'm pretty sure that they expected Virtus Pro to use Zagara, but that did never happen. So they are probably more than happy to take her here. They have Jaina for AoE damage. They have the Chain Lightning for Thrall. Well, he's not the best hero when it comes to wave clear, but he has a decent amount. It's not like he's really struggling. It's not like he's a Nova or anything. We have Tyrande now in this case now, of course, not really with a whole lot of wave clear, but she's going to play the supporter role, most likely solo. There's still the need for a frontliner, and I guess that they could go into a Johanna. If they run already another tank, I would have said they go into Leoric, but Johanna and Leoric are probably their best options now. They have the ETC still available, so that's one thing that you have to keep in mind. They could have tried to use ETC with that more on Zagara. I guess it definitely came up during the draft right now, but I completely agree with the decision to go into a Johanna here, since she is more tanky, she has more self-sustain with level 16 talents, level 4 talents that she can use, and also you can still provide with the Condemn quite a bit of like damage to a Jaina that takes the opportunity to drop a Blizzard, or a Tyrande that is able to combo off with a good stun there. Virtus Pro, they are in need of... They go into a Sonya, and that works. I mean, we already had a Karrigan banned out, Thrall was taken, Sonya makes sense. They take her a bit late here, but that's also quite understandable, since TSM was never really in a position where they could have dropped that Sonya as well. Double, like Thrall plus Sonya, you're not really going to see that. So this is a pretty solid setup that Virtus Pro has after all, especially if they can capitalize on a double Seasoned Marksman stack. If they take it, that is. I mean, they could still go into the Give Me More on Reyna. But this is a pretty cool setup. I like both of the drafts. Again, we see Green Jesus into action. It's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, Tomb of Spider Queen is the map. So let's jump in and see which team is going to take the semi-final here at the end of the Storm Europe qualifier. Welcome everybody to the semi-final at the end of the Storm Europe. So currently we're having Fnatic out of the tournament, defeated by the Sandwich Monkeys. Starting to the left, we have the Sandwich Monkeys with BKB on Johanna, ADRD on Zagara, Sport Billy on Tyrande, Styr on Jaina, and Snow once again on Thrall. To the right side of the map with a double Seasoned Marksman, we're seeing Virtus Pro with a new lineup. Sevkaja on Reyna, we have Neon on Falstad, Power of Dream on Sonya, Toxical on Muradin, and Noizen is playing Uther. So yeah, pretty interesting setup here. BKB going up against this old team that only kept two of the players, Power of Dream and Sevkaja. Everybody else left, of course, especially Kunin-chan after Prague was released from the team. Power of Dream joined in, and apparently there was just like not too much of team spirit going on. BKB talked about it after he left Virtus Pro as well, and he said in an interview that he felt that they were more like 5 solo players playing together, not really a team, not really a unity. Now he's in a new team without an organization yet. ADRD, a former Dignitas player, former Rocket player, and a former Sport Billy also with him. And it's going to be pretty fun to see these two go up against each other, considering, I mean, of course, Virtus Pro now also restructuring their setup, and they're running this with Toxical, with Noisen, and with Neo now as well. The setup that they're using here for this particular match is also quite interesting. A high focus on Seasoned Marksman. Of course, rotations between lanes are going to be very important in the early game to get these stacks going for Seasoned Marksman. They go up against the Zagara, and they don't have a Tacit or anything that they could use for vision. It's more about the AoE spells that they have to just take down these creep tumors. When we're looking at the opponent's team, at the Sandwich Monkeys, then again, we have once more this Tyrande focus. Not really a lot of that heavy lockdown that you oftentimes try to go for with the Burden taken early. This is something that successfully was picked away by Virtus Pro, but they can still at least use that Condemn on BKB. No, that was a nice one right there. And of course, it's that Blizzard that it's all about. Toxical jumps away, Noisen is on the run. Stier was actually thinking about moving in and trying to take him down, but I think he would have died himself if he would have tried. Oh, Reyna also on the way back. So a lot of aggression already happening on the side of Team Sandwich Monkeys. Very well played there. Neon is all the way up at the top, securing himself also more Seasoned Marksman stacks and experience for the team. If you're looking at the talent, we have again an Owl build for Tyrande. And I want to stress that again, since a lot of people assume that the Owl build is all about like dishing out damage, and it's that it's not really like a heal build for Tyrande, but nothing could be further from the truth. Like, of course, if you go into the Ranger talent level 16 and you go for the 2 Owl talents at 1 and 4, you get a lot of damage out as well, potentially. But especially when we're looking at Empower, that cooldown reduction that Empower is talking about over here, it applies to all your skills. So it means it applies actually to... oh, Sonya died at the top. Okay, so they got her. It applies actually not only to your heals, it also applies to your ultimate. So in that case, when we have Shadowstalk then used later, you can get a lot of heals out of that if you spam the talent. And oh, Reyna is actually about to fall. He is down. Great kill. It's the second kill in this case. Now for the Sandwich Monkeys. A very nice aggression here. The rotation's really working for them, and it just showcases once again that danger that especially Jaina poses to a team. If you go in and you get that lockdown with Thrall sending out one of those wolves, and then maybe also the Tyrande stun coming in after that, then of course you are basically doomed. One of the things that is very powerful about Tyrande in particular, of course, is her trait. We are always talking about the stun, we're talking about the stun combos, but I mean all that burst damage that comes out from Tyrande is more because of her trait and the extra damage that the target takes that is afflicted by it. One of the main reasons why we oftentimes in a heavy burst combo see Ranger's Mark taken as a talent. Snow, on the other hand, he's taken out, and we have the kill against Tyrande now as well. She wanted to try and go for those gems, which are now collected by BKB, but of course it resulted in a double kill. That is a bit unfortunate there. 2 kills for 2 kills. We are still seeing Noisen going up against RD down at the bottom of the map. We're having up at the top Power of Dream trying to soak the experience. He in this case goes up against Johanna, so should be able to pressure this back a bit. But the teams are both trying to turn in, and so far the blue team has been able to secure themselves 45 gems that they turned in. BKB under a lot of pressure here, and he's already down. It's one of the great advantages that we are seeing now for the team lineup of Virtus Pro, that they have really a setup that can burst down a single target if they get a hold on it. If Muradin gets, especially in the later stages of the game, a good Stormbolt in, and Uther follows it up with the second stun, they have 2 heroes that have great single target damage. Thanks to Seasoned Marksman, Falstad and Reyna are going to do a lot of work here, and that's of course one of the dangers, especially for the front line. Johanna needs to be a bit careful there, and this is going to not make her life any easier after Giant Killer has been taken for both of these heroes. And with that burst damage that we've been talking about, I mean, Zefkaj are already showcasing it here in the mid lane. They're going for the first kill against the Web Weaver. They're moving down to the bottom to do the same thing again. Up to the top lane, Falstad is very much alone against 4. And this is, of course, we're currently seeing the Sandwich Monkeys making their stand and trying to just like go for a couple of additional kills. And they're doing a very solid job at that. ADRD is already starting to move in, and they are even attempting to go now for that first fort, and it looks very much like they're going to be able to make that happen. Neon had to move away. The fort is down, therefore an experience lead now. But can they maybe turn in? Because they have a fair amount of gems. They definitely have enough to take a turn in on their own. And there's no level 10 in sight just yet. With the talents, on the other hand, we have now on level 7, Holy Fire taken. Great to take down these Zagara creep tumors. I really like it. And apparently they just said, okay, in this setup, we don't don't really want cleanse. It would be useful, of course, especially with those stuns, but we don't necessarily need it. We are more worried about the vision on the map, and Noisen might barely get away there, and he actually does. Tyrande went straight into that stun again on level 7. We've been talking about it in Lunar Blaze. And we have the follow through again taken on Thrall. We're seeing at the same time the endless creep for Zagara, which is one of the main reasons, of course, why Uther said, hey, we need something to take down these creep tumors. We don't have vision, so let's just use my Holy Fire here and make sure that we at least get something in so that we can detect those bastards. Also, conviction taken after Eternal Retaliation, so massive cooldown reduction. It's amazing what you can do when you are up against the Web Weavers. I mean, there's so many targets that you get nearly an instant cooldown reduction to 0 on your Condemn, and you just move in, you condemn, and the Web Weavers are gone, or at least the summons that they use, the spawns. For now, it's near level 9 versus level 8, and still not a single gem turned in by the red team. Not one. They didn't turn a single gem in yet. So Virtus Pro, they have to be a little bit careful here. At some point, they need to make something happen here, because this is starting to worry me a bit. If they lose their heroes for some reason again, and a trap like this could be exactly what's happening, then they're going to lose a lot of those. But those stuns of Sportpili today, not really on point. He's missing a lot, not only against Fnatic earlier, but now in this game as well. Neon here with his 20 gems is not doing him the favor of moving into it. So it was a bit of a prediction shot that we saw from Sportpili. Didn't really work out, but for now, they still have the earlier level 10, and with that heroic ability, they also get map domination again for a bit longer, and might end up in a second turn-in for themselves. I mean, they don't really have enough, I think, but they definitely have a fair amount and are pretty close, especially with AD running another 10 down here at the bottom. Sundering, Ring of Frost, Blast Shield, Maw, and Shadowstalk have been taken. And Shadowstalk is already used. Sefkaj, on the other hand, he glimpses it and he is moving away immediately, making sure that he's not sticking around. Oh, but it looks like Uther might die, and well, there's no might about it anymore. Uther is dead, he's taken out. Yep, that's where Cleanse would have helped you a little bit, but I'm not quite sure if it really would have saved him. At the bottom lane, Muradin is also hopping away from Zagara. Once again, of course, especially those Hydralisks going to be super annoying in these scenarios. We have at the same time Neo and Sefkajen, Power of Dream in the mid lane, and on the other hand. And looks like Snow could turn in 2 more. Everybody else is currently at the turning point over here and successfully turns in their gems. So we have 41. Falstad flying in. BKB. Here comes immediately the Mighty Gust, and they go for the kill against Jaina. Nice kill against Jaina. And the Hyperion is doing solid work now as well. BKB is still very, very low, but the counter kill against Falstad. Now we have still Sefkajen there with Reyna. He has a fair amount of damage that he can dish out, but it's a lockdown attempt against Toxic, who jumps out of the way in the last moment. Very well done here by Tyrande, of course, making sure to just like cut his way off, but this time it was well played there. So we have another turn in, and if you look at the damage, we're seeing Falstad and also, in this case, Reyna, of course, doing their work. Falstad not as much season marksman stacks either. In this case right now, it's still Reyna with a lot more damage, 13,000, and Reyna is dying. And at the same time, we have another attack up at the top, but this time the Mighty Gust is ready. Neon moved in, Mighty Gusted them away. It's still a very cool push attempt now for the Sandwich Monkeys. They have the Web Weavers, and they have a 5 versus 4 situation, and could even end up with level 13 after this push. If they claim both these forts, the one in the mid lane and the one down to the bottom, then they could get that extra level and that extra talent, of course. So they're starting to move in again. Neon is a bit zoned away from those stuns. He needs to be careful. If he's get locked down, and he is already going to be done, and they want to go for the team fight. They go in, and Toxical is there at the front. They try to stun Power of Dream. That's not working. Condemn hits, Falstad flies in, and Mighty Gusts everybody away. Web Weavers in the mid lane, going through the fort. At the bot lane, we're seeing the exact same thing. Another one is dying over here. Uther's in the middle for the experience. And nice stun, but no potential follow-up there, of course. So it looks very good for the Sandwich Monkeys. They have 5 kills against 4. They took down every single fort already on the map. And they have a very, very nice position here, actually. That level 13 talent is going to help them quite a bit. And now they will dominate this map for a bit longer. Not even to talk about the creep spread, which is maybe not as good as it could be. I mean, it's not something that would make J-Dome proud, but it's still very, very good in the sense that it gives you at least control over one of the turn-in spots and give you some decent vision about the pathways towards the second. So that's going to help them to turn their own gems in again. Improved Ice Block for Jaina, Overflowing Light for Tyrande for the heals, and we're having now Johanna with Burning Rage. Again, massive pushing power right now on Johanna. If you have Eternal Retaliation on your Condemned Nightic spawn and you also have that, you are in a great spot. And they use it to kill Sonya as well. So Sonya is down. We have still the Giant Killer on Thrall. So very much the same build that Snow already used in the last game. And besides that, it is the Mutalisk for Zagara. So they push to the top lane. They are in a great position again. A numerical advantage that they are trying to exploit. And they can just like move back, turn in. They have currently 27, I think roughly 32 gems. They go for boss now. They did that like... We have one of the games earlier today where they did the same thing, and they just like have the balls to go for the boss, and well, they are 2 levels ahead and also a talent, and the burst is definitely solid. I mean, they burst that down quite easily. Neon is already there, but he's already too late. There's also not really too much that you can do with the Mighty Gust in this particular thing. The problem is that you Mighty Gust people here into the wall, and then they will be on the spot just a second later, so it's not like on Sky Temple or Cursed Hollow, where you can use a Mighty Gust very, very easily to steal a boss. It's a little bit more complicated here in this one. So right now we have the push at the top lane. Again, the boss is moving in, and the Sandwich Monkeys, they are very eager to get this first keep in the game now. So they go straight for that well, and they try to maybe lock even the target down. There are Web Weavers that they deal with quite easily, and the boss is going to put some damage in, but of course it's more about like pushing against the Web Weavers now as well. That's a turn-in that didn't really do anything on the side of the opponent, especially of course because Virtus.pro had to move away to defend against the Web Weaver instead of just using that power to go straight for a potential keep push or forward push together with the Web Weavers that they just spawned. So right now, a lot of damage here once again against Mirrodin. Nice Sundering being used, and they're moving in against Toxical. Mirrodin gets the Divine Shield and moves out. That means that Power of Dream has to be a little bit more careful. The Maw is catching one. Mighty Gust for the save and the kill against Thrall. Well done here. Great move on the side of Virtus.pro. It was an important kill there as well. It was the attempted turnaround against them, and then they are able to make that play. Great job here. That's also, of course, the double Giant Killer that really helps you. Double Giant Killer, Sonya even going for a full passive talent, going straight into the spell shield. And that's, of course, going to help her to survive a lot of that Jaina damage that is being thrown out there. And with Thrall being shrink rate, thanks to Uther, that is another big, big plus in the side for Team Virtus.pro for these team fights. It's really the damage that we see on the two target, like on the two outer attackers. I really, really like that. It's 11,000 versus 19,000, really showcasing that power of follow through once again, and also the superior account of season marksman stacks that we currently have for Reyna. But overall, this is just like a very, very solid position here. You can, by the way, tell that especially Fawcett has a lot more siege damage than Reyna, because he was for so long up at the top lane, just like trying to get those waves bursted down. In this case, though, it's still a lead in experience for the Sandwich Monkeys, but we have another turn-in, and so a chance for Virtus.pro to close that gap in experience. Level 16 talent is going to be ready, though, and that is going to be a bit of an issue. Ah, Toxical misses the Stormbolt. That was quite unfortunate. Yeah, he expected one of the heroes to move to the top and therefore try to predict his stun a bit. That didn't really work, and now they have to move away again to first of all de-push the bot lane so that the Web Weaver can still survive this. But this also allows, again, Team Sandwich Monkeys to just go straight up to the top, defend the first Web Weaver. They already bursted the one in the mid lane down, and yeah, that's another Web Weaver wave that does nothing else but just buy you a bit of time. And of course, time is all that they like. They really need time at this point for level 16. They need a lot more than time, but at least it helps them a little bit. Yeah, with endless creep, these creep tumors are sometimes really, really annoying to catch. For now, though, it's all about experience. The level 16 talents, they brought us, in this case now, Northern Exposure. They're having Ranger taken on Tyrande as the level 16 talent. There's also now the level 16 Tempest Fury talent for the final additional strikes on your Wind Fury, which is actually pretty powerful, especially, of course, since it also stacks with everything else that we have here in this build. Blessed Shield as the level 10 talent, and to make sure that she is also able to just like survive. I mean, so far we only saw damage talents basically for Johanna. We have now finally Imposing Presence, and that is the talent that she really needs, because going up against a Reyna and also a Falstad with Seasoned Marksman, if you don't have anything that can really just like make their life a bit harder, then you are in trouble. But in this case, Imposing Presence is an amazing talent. I mean, it's such a great talent to have. The attack slow by 40%. This is massively going to reduce the damage on Falstad and Reyna if they dare to go for Johanna right away. But for now, we are having no 16 talents yet for the opponent. There's a turn in again. And well, that's the blue Web Weavers that we are seeing for the Sandwich Monkeys. They're starting to move up to the top again. And this is where now, of course, the entire team of Virtus.pro is headed as well. But they're going to be too late to save their keep. It goes down. And this is only the first one. The mid lane has been defended too, or at least it is about to be defended. It's still that problem with like that talent that they're lacking here. So they know that too. They don't really want to be caught in a fight. They know perfectly well that it's just like a bit too risky at this point. And we have just everybody trying to defend as much as they can, especially since the Web Weaver here, of course, is also trying to just aim for the middle. Nice Hyperion, and that's going to be level 16, so they get the talent. Benediction, Stoneform have already been taken. We're seeing Bullseye for Reyna and Hammer Time for Falstad. The longer this game lasts, I feel the stronger we're going to see Virtus Pro become. Of course, there's one Season Marksman hero also on the side of Team Sandwich Monkeys. We have Snow in there, but if you have two range assassins at that point, it's just going to be a bit too much. Especially since I could very well see two Nexus Frenzies here on this map. We've seen an epic mount before, but Nexus Frenzy here would be, with this build, insane. In comes Toxil. They're going straight for the fight. A potential kill against Noise, and Uther in trouble. He goes down. Zigara, on the other hand, is dropped as well, but the healer is already out of commission. Sundering is trying to save Snow. They jump in. Thrall gets taken out, but Sevkaje is now dying after Sonya and Muradin die too. It might be an entire team wipe. Yes, thanks to Conviction, Johanna is able to catch up with Falstad. She takes him down, and now they still have 3 heroes alive on the map. They could go for the boss if they wanted to. They could go for the middle and try to push down that keep. I doubt that they're going to do that. If they go for boss and just wait for the rest of the team, I think there's a very high chance that they can just simply move in, take the core, and end the game. Then again, by the time that the boss is going to arrive there, it's most likely going to be 5 versus 5 again, and that level 20 talent isn't there yet, so without that advantage they might not even try to go for it. It's only 17 minutes into the game, but for now the boss here, of course, is going to be easily taken. Nobody is trying to contest that. Uther is back, so is Sonya, but there's very little that they can do. They're now all heading over there, but it's of course way too late for that. So the boss is taken, level 20 is still far. How many gems do they have though? Unfortunately the UI doesn't give us the information, but they have roughly 50, I'd say. So with them running 50 gems, it's not enough to get a turn in, and they really have to move in there. Power of Dream, actually. Oh, he spears a roach. They try to go in for Zagara, and they get her, but Falstad is now also dead, and Zagara is actually still alive. And they get another kill. Uther is down. Zagara finally dead, but it cost them 3 heroes. They were trying to force a fight before level 20 happens, and it didn't work out for them at all. They're going to lose their entire setup. The boss is already on core, and now they can just simply move in and end the game. The Sandwich Monkeys are going to advance to the final of the European End of the Storm qualifier. Great play here. Virtus Pro, in the last moment, they said, guys, we have one chance. Let's go and fight. We need to force that battle now. It's a bad spot for us, but if they hit level 20 and we don't have it, then we're losing anyways. So let's go for a Hail Mary move. It didn't work out, and the Sandwich Monkeys are victorious and advance to the next round of the tournament. Okay, everybody, that's it for the day. We had some really fun games here, and I hope that you enjoyed them and also the commentary. Of course, we're going to have more Heroes of the Storm action on the channel in the near future. So if you enjoyed the esports scene Heroes of the Storm, make sure that you hit that subscribe button on Khaldor TV and also like the video if you haven't done that yet already. There's going to be more European games. We're going to have more North American matches as well. And of course, if you're interested in the Chinese Heroes of the Storm esports scene, I'm going to have more games on the channel as well in the near future as those leagues start again. At the same time, though, if you have friends that are also interested in esports and in Heroes of the Storm, make sure that you forward the channel to them and share it with them. It was a pleasure casting for you today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed, as I already mentioned, and I hope to see you next time for more Heroes of the Storm action here on Khaldor TV. See you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.